Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel Drawing with Michael. I know it's been a little bit of a stint since I posted a video. I apologize for that. We've had some sickness run through our family and I have not escaped that. I am definitely under the weather today. I've been under the weather now for about 3 to 4 days. We had a great event over the weekend, my family and I. We usually go and do a family activity every year. Instead of buying a bunch of presents, we go and create a family memory. And we actually got to ride the Polar Express, the real train, which was really great. They performed. It was a great experience over in Bryson City. But unfortunately, whenever you get in contact with a lot of people's germs, and I don't get out a lot since I work in a studio. Unfortunately, I contracted some sickness. So bear with me as I move through. I did want to get a video out to you guys today because there's been a lot of updates recently on iPad apps. I am working up a Procreate 5 tutorial for you guys and how I use Procreate. And there's some great features in Procreate. The animation feature, which is really robust, and just some of the brush engines and stuff that are there. But today, since there was an update on Fresco, I went ahead and started doing a drawing in Fresco, and I wanted to show you kind of my process in sketching and doing a creature in this program. Adobe Fresco is one of those programs that was kind of a surprise to me because it was, I think, created as a direct competitor with Procreate. It's not there yet, but it is a fun program to use. I found out this morning how hard it is to get one file from one iPad to another, since I own two iPads. I own a 10.5 Pro and a 12.9 Pro. And I use Fresco on both of those devices, but whenever I went to go and export, it didn't want to export, and then whenever I went to go and try and airdrop it, it treated it as an image file even though I specified as PSD. And whenever I went to email it to myself, I couldn't find a way to open it in Fresco. You're saying, well, Mike, why don't you just use the cloud feature? Yeah, but it didn't want to do that either. So that being said, I was finally able to get it over to my 12.9. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the process. I'll do just a little bit of narration over it here and there and show you my process as to how I create in Adobe Fresco. And stay tuned, please be patient, because I am creating a video and a file tutorial, drawing animals in Procreate, so you guys can, utilize that going forward if you're interested in getting an iPad. So anyway, on to the show. Okay, so I just wanted to do a really quick voiceover here at this time-lapse from Fresco. This is one of the features that you can do, just like Procreate, record your time-lapse of your drawing. And I just wanted to show you the beginning of the drawing, because whenever I end up actually recording using the 4K camera, I had already done some sketch work on the piece. So that's kind of where I wanted to show you as far as where I started. So here's on to the show. Okay, so this is where I'm at so far. You guys know that I love my devices. I've got so many opportunities to draw on digital devices, and it's really, really a blessing that I'm able to do this. This particular machine was purchased by a client, as well as my other iPad Pro. And that's just one of those things where I've just been very fortunate to have clients, that appreciate, what I do for them. And you're like, well, it'd be nice if I had a client doing that. Well, you got to look at the bigger picture. A lot of the products that I've created for these clients have made them very rich. So purchasing, a $400 or $500 device is not really that big of a deal, especially whenever you look at in the context of how much money the products that I've made and created, and the artwork and I've created have made them. Okay, so one of the things that I really like in Fresco is the fact that I can import my Photoshop brushes. I've got a lot of Photoshop brushes. I've had a lot for a long time, and you know, basically being an ABR brush, I can go in and create, you know, brush packs, and I can have a nice collection of Photoshop brushes. Now, does it have tilt on some of them? I'm not really sure, and I don't know how to manipulate the brushes inside of Fresco just yet. But also, if you go on to Photoshop, not Photoshop, if you go on to Adobe.com, there is a myriad of brushes for free. Kyle's collection. So if you look over here on the left-hand side in the brush interface, you see there's a brush palette over here. And over here you have the different adjustments. I'm not going to go into the different features of Fresco. This is primarily a drawing exercise today. I just did want to show you how I kind of use Fresco. I use Fresco as a drawing and watercolor. Primarily the reason why I use Fresco is the watercolor engine. It is wonderful, and we're going to get to that here in just a minute. I'm already noticing issues. For some reason it keeps registering my double tap. I'm not really sure why. It's kind of weird. It wasn't doing that on my 10.5. Anyway, so over here on the left hand side you have the different brush categories. Right now I'm in Kyle's drawing box, his China marker. I really like the China marker because it's got a nice texture to it. But all of these I downloaded for free. So we go all the way down here. All these brushes are for free from Adobe. See, they're all Kyle's brushes that he's created, which is really cool. And you come over here and all the library brushes. Now these are your you know, the brushes that you get, but all down here are the brushes that I've imported. So I've got 133 watercolor brushes that I've imported. But I really like, I like this particular brush for sketching. And there is a great pencil brush as well. So this creature, what is it? Why am I doing this? Yeah, see, I put my hand down and it's registering it as an undo. Yeah, see, it keeps doing that. So let's go to the app settings. Literally, I just imported this over. So input, touch, erase with a brush, view edges, so touches, finger. Yeah, it keeps registering me as a double tap, and I'm not really sure why. Okay, experimental features, use system setting, light, dark. Okay, restore, no, quick, no. Input, pressure sensitivity, touch. Okay, we'll go medium light, erase with brush. Okay, well, I don't know what to say other than the fact that it seems that this particular program is having an issue. So here's the sizing over here. I can adjust the size. I come right here, I can adjust the smoothing, which I'm not really a smoothing kind of guy. I like, yeah, see, I like the, let's go a little bit bigger. I like the wave that I get whenever I draw. You know, I don't want it to be smooth. Now, I think the smoothing feature probably will help if you're doing some vector line work, which you can do in Fresco. It's kind of funny, I posted a video, and it's probably one of the most popular videos that I have on my YouTube channel concerning Adobe Fresco. It was like right when Adobe Fresco came out. And I had a lot of people are like, you know, you see, it's registering. Isn't that weird? It's registering as a double tap. I bet it's something I'm doing. You're like, dude, why don't you just use Procreate? Well, I do. I use Procreate a lot. Here, we're going to have this. I've reprogrammed my double tap instead of bringing up my color to bring up my eraser, which you can do. Right? See, you see that? It's registering as a double. I literally just put my hand down and I started drawing and it registered as a double tap. See if I go 3. Okay, so let's see if it does it again. And I bring it down. Yep, see that? It's registering as a double tap. So I'll put it down here and I'll put my finger down again. And it's undoing what I did. So that's extremely frustrating as a user to have a program sit there and undo the work in the sketch line that I just did. Maybe if I went a little bit faster, a little bit looser. A little bit of grass coming here. So who is this creature? What does he do? Why am I doing this particular creature? I don't know. I just started sketching it out. I've got a huge project due basically days ago for a commission that I was hired to do, and ultimately I really didn't have the time to do it. And that's really one of those deals where, yeah, see, it just undid my sketch line. And I'm not doing anything. Look, I'm literally just putting my hand down. And I think maybe whenever I put my hand down and I touch again, it's registering it as a double tap. So that's something that Adobe's going to have to work on, because that is uber frustrating. You know, that would cause me not to want to use the program at all, even though it's a very fun program to use. I'm coming to you guys today using the 4K Lumix camera. This camera, I don't own this camera. I borrowed it. That's what I don't want to do. I don't want to have frustrations. You know what? How frustrating is that? Excuse me. Whenever you sit there and you want to do, maybe if I lift my finger up. You know, I want to be patient. I want to be patient and have that, you know, Bob Ross feel. But gosh, whenever I put a line down, yep, undo. It keeps undoing everything. You know what? I wonder if I can just, because I don't really undo. Let's do the app settings. Let's finger draw with brush. Gestures only. See, this is Adobe at its best. It's Adobe not allowing you to have control of the application. See, that's why Procreate is like 10 times better than this program, and the more and more I'm thinking about it, I wanted to show you guys the joys of drawing on this program. But ultimately, I am so frustrated right now. I don't even want to work on this program anymore because of the fact that I'm having so many issues this morning. Generally speaking, I'm not really a negative guy, not whenever it comes to software, because I know there's a learning curve. But man, it's like the program's constantly working against me. I don't know if you guys... Wow, look at that. It literally, I put my hand down, and then I put my finger down, and look at that. Do you see all this? The touch gestures, redo, undo, redo, undo, redo. It's registering my hand as a finger, and then it's registering this as a finger. I'm literally just putting my hand down like I normally draw. Here, you know what, maybe, and this really sucks. So this solved the problem. It's seemingly, I mean, how frustrating is that? Sit there and have this program. Yeah, it still did it. Yeah, this program needs to be put back into the cooker. It is not done at all. What a frustrating program this is, Adobe. Adobe, for the company that's been around creating drawing software for 20 years, 30 years, 25 years, and to have a program that is, you know, they release and it's so far from being done. Oh my gosh. This is... Oh. Anyway, so I'm drawing with Kyle's China marker, which I like. See, it registered a double tap again. Everybody's like, why are you using Fresco, bro? Just use Procreate. It's a much better program. Oh yeah, it is. The thing is I want to give the programs the benefit of the doubt, but my gosh. Maybe it's my iPad. The touch sensitivity on it. I didn't have this issue with my 10.5. Maybe there's something going wrong with my brand new iPad. Think about that. Maybe it's not the program. That's one of the things you always have to think about or remember. Maybe it's you. User error. Now, did you just see that? Literally, this is something that I think, this is Apple's fault. If you didn't just see what happened. And this is something that I'm constantly dealing with on this particular iPad. The brightness. So we're gonna scroll down. The brightness. Well, watch. Right about here, it stops, and it dims. It dims. I don't know if you guys have had that issue. I sure have. Anyway, I've got the inks in. Look at that. I tried to double tap and it doesn't want to do it. See, that's the frustration that is Adobe. It does stuff whenever you want to, and then whenever you want to have something happen, then it doesn't do it. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just, whenever you sit down, you want it to go the way that you want it to go. And it sits there and it fights you the entire time. And you're like, well, let's just restart it. Yeah, I already restarted it before. Probably doesn't help that I don't feel good. Yep, undo. See, it already it's still going to do it even with my... Maybe if I keep my finger up. Maybe that's what's doing it. I typically have my entire hand and then I rest and I put that third finger down, and it's registering that third finger as part of the undo gesture, which is very frustrating. Okay, so who is this creature? Why is he important? What is he doing? All of these things that, I tell my students, I'm like, yep, see, it dimmed again. Yeah, see, look. And then it stops right there. Right there. And then look, no change. No change at all. See that? That's a flaw. It's no longer white. Right? And you guys ask me, well, why do you draw on the surface so much? Well, I don't have a ton of issues with my surface. It just has to update all the time. I don't have any issues with the brightness. I don't have any issues with programs doing, stupid crap like that. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna. This is. Alright, so let's get rid of you. Let's add a layer. Let's do watercolor. Okay, I'm going to do local color. Let's do blue. Yeah, I like blue. Blue's good. Oh, watercolor round detail. Watercolor wash flat. So let's do this one. Let's block in all that local color. Good. Let's go ahead and put that down a little bit. Alright, not bad. Kind of like a quasi lizard type creature. frustration. Sorry about all the frustration sticking. Guys, I'm not usually a frustration kind of illustrator. Maybe because I don't feel good. I really don't know. I think I will go towards Procreate. The thing is, everybody does Procreate videos, right? Look at me, I'm awesome on Procreate. Look at me, you know, which Procreate's an awesome program. You know? I got Adobe Fresco and I saw the watercolor engine and I was like, man, that's wonderful. I use Rebel watercolor software, and I have for quite a while. One of the beta testers for it, Rebel 3, and I enjoy it. But I think, you know, in terms of just overall watercolor engine wonderfulness, I think this program has a beat. If they could get the double touch and double tap. See, I'm not having any issues in this. Maybe it's the brush. I really don't know. You know, I bet it doesn't do it whenever I don't know, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I wanted to do, you know, have a nice pleasant video today, but with the frustrations that I have with this program, I'm probably just going to not have this video at all. It is, I mean, this is enjoyable, you know, whenever I'm working on it in this capacity. Right? This feels really good. I know they recently had an update for it too, so maybe I'm the one causing all the issues. You know? I know in Procreate you can use the eraser and you can specify a specific brush. I'm not really sure if you can do that in here. I'm going to try it here in just a second. So I'm blocking in the entire creature in this blue hue. And then what I'll do is I'll come back, I'll lock the transparency. And I'll come back, you know, maybe I'll put some splatters in and stuff here. Actually, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and see if I can't get the eraser. It's got this little puck right here. I hope that eventually they'll get it to where, actually I've got it to where I double click and it goes to the eraser. Typically that's the puck for the eraser. I don't see any need for that. You know, I actually thought about pairing a keyboard with it. Okay, so he's pretty much blocked in. So, whoop, I forgot a tooth. That tooth's probably going to be like white or something like that. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the eraser. Boom, boom. See, let's see. Okay, it doesn't give you any indication of how, you know, what type of brush. So that really is no good. So let's double tap. Let's do a little cleanup here. I do like a little overline, like up here. I'll go ahead and do that. So we'll have that in there. We'll put some splatters in, I think. Let's go to the watercolor. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to come back to the watercolor brushes. Let's go down right here. Watercolor wet splatter. So I'm going to put some splatters in here and there, which is fun, right? And what's nice is, yeah, I like that. Bit of bleed out. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to basically lock the transparency. So you come over here to the left hand side and you lock transparency. So now once that happens, I can go in and change the hue. Let's give it a little bit of a darker and a little bit of a bluer, cooler hue. And I'm going to come back to the watercolor wash soft. See what that does. Now we're going to zoom in a little bit. It's still a wet layer, so I'm just basically going to go in and and I'm going to start blocking in some of these shadows. Okay. Now I can specify how much water flow, and I can do less or more, so we're going to do just a little bit less. And we're going to come in and we're going to put in some of these nice, cool hues. Right? So we zoom out, it's got a nice look to it. Sorry for the frustration earlier, guys. I just get so frustrated at programs that just sit there and work against you the whole time. It's very frustrating. Now this layer is still wet, so if I don't like the way things are going, in terms of how the water is, or the paint is going into that wet layer, I can dry the layer, which is very fascinating. I thought anyway. Okay. So here, a little bit darker. Whoops. A little bit darker. I love watercolor. I'm not that good at it. I've had frustrations with watercolor through my entire career. I do love the way it looks. There's a couple watercolor artists. One guy from the UK, Gary, I forget his last name. It'll probably come to me. I can look it up really quick. I'll look that up afterwards. He's just next level good. I look at his work and I'm like, oh, I suck. Right. It's just as if I had a layer, like a mask. Like if you guys, if any of you guys do watercolor, you know that you can do like masking film or masking fluid, which is really cool. And it's like I have masking fluid over the entire piece. Here, we're going to go ahead and just put some of these in here, just a nice quick wash. We're going to come here, some of these wrinkles. Right? Make my brush quite larger. Okay. Nice. Nice. Yep, there it was. You see that? Now it's really dark. What the heck, dude? Now it goes all the way down. Look, halfway, and then nothing changes. You see that? That's an iPad flaw. What the heck is going on with my iPad? Display and brightness, true tone, no. Night shift, lock and unlock. Light, dark. Yeah, look, right about there. No change. So it brings it all the way down to the midway, and I can't change the brightness at all. Oh, and now we're bright again. Oh, that's fascinating. So we're just deciding, oh, we'll be bright. We'll be dark. We'll be bright. That's uber frustrating. Right? Between the touch issue and the lightness and darkness of this machine, deciding, oh, we're just going to do light and dark, whatever we want to. Wow. So frustrating. Okay, so yesterday started on this thing. I had started on a sketch initially, and I started going through, you guys watched, and how frustrated I was with the interface of Adobe. I edited the video to where you didn't see some of my real frustration concerning this program. You kind of asked the question, why would you put yourself through that? And, I asked the same question many times, and let's be frank, not all programs are as easy to use as Procreate. Procreate's one of those programs that I think, in my opinion, is kind of an anomaly in the. Let me see. I'm looking for a specific. Where are you at? Oil, flat, wonky. Is one of those really anomalistic. That isn't even a word. Anomalies in the world of art. There it is. That basically, basically it's just easy to use. The tools are really intuitive, and I think 100%. Why are we on transparency? See, again, that's one of those things that I just don't understand. Here, where are we at? We're in normal mode, brush, smoothing, normal, transfer, shape dynamics, hardness. I don't know why. Oh, okay, so we're going 100%. Okay, so, what I was talking about. Oh, Procreate. Procreate being one of those programs that basically is intuitive and actually helps you do the things you need to do. There aren't too many programs out there like that, and so kudos to Procreate. But one of the things that we're not doing today is doing a, who's better, who's this, who's that, and it's not that. Yesterday I had 102-degree temperature whenever I did my video taping. Today I'm doing much better, but man, I was not very wise in doing the first part of this video with 102-degree temperature. As the day progressed, it just got worse and worse, so I decided to just stop and rest. But today I feel much better, at least in spirit. And I just wanted to show you guys what I had done. As the day progressed yesterday, I ended up feeling a little bit better in the evening. So I went in and I put a simple background in. Literally, I just went in and just did a circle shape. And I chose orange because it's the complement to blue. Typically, in this situation, whenever it comes to simplicity, I like to just put the complement in there. Just kind of something that clicks in my head. And then I put, I layered the shadows, so I have this initial layer, and then I put a little bit of a darker layer in there to kind of give it that gradation. And I did use the watercolor brushes. This is kind of where I landed up. I don't even know if that's a phrase. I apologize. I'm still kind of reeling from my sickness yesterday. This is kind of where I landed yesterday. I didn't really want to get, like I said, into detail in compare and contrast Procreate with this program, but it's kind of hard not to do because both of them have a lot of the same gestures. They're going towards the same market, and ultimately I think that there is going to be a lot of comparison with these two. What I do like about Fresco is I can go over on my Surface device and I can use Fresco, which is really cool. That can't be said if I had a MacBook Pro and I wanted to use Procreate. I can't because Procreate's only available on one platform. I know why they did that. It obviously it's for simplicity and the fact that they can really not have to rewrite the program for a bunch of other OS platforms. But it does kind of stink in the fact that if I want to experience the greatness that is Procreate, then I have to do it on an OS device that costs in excess. If you get the bottom of the line iPad that has Apple support, I think it's over $350. Which, is not horrible, but if I already own a computer, I just can't buy the $15 piece of software and load it up on my PC or my Mac. You notice that I'm still having issues with palm rejection. And I thought yesterday after I had gone into the settings, because I had gone into the settings on here, and a lot of guys don't know this, guys and gals don't know this, that the auto dimness and screen brightness is not in the display, which really doesn't make sense, does it? It's in accessibility, and then you come down here to display and text, and it's all the way at the bottom, auto brightness. Why would Apple put that in accessibility? It makes no sense. It should be in display and brightness at the bottom, and I have True Tone off. So, unfortunately, when I was playing around with it last night and I had all these settings the way that you just saw them, I still got the screen dimming at its own leisure, which is really odd. And I thought maybe I was covering some of the sensors, and that was not the case. So today, I'm just going to wrap up this video really quick, just because I want to get on, to work. I had a commission yesterday while I was sick, 102-degree temperature, and there I am at my art desk doing a commission that was due pretty much last week. Hopefully, the person who commissioned me to do it won't just say, "Nah, we're good." And typically, I don't work like that. I don't work on pieces unless I either get a retainer or I get some type of payment before I start anything, because unfortunately that's what they can do. They can just say, "Hey, nah, we're good. I don't want it anymore," and you'll be stuck with time lost. So we're going to see exactly how that pans out, because I do not work on art for hire. I don't do it. I don't do stuff and then basically snide, "Nah, we're good." So, what do I think overall of Fresco? It's not there yet, guys, and I've said this before. I hoped with the update. Now, what's really cool is they do have rotate. I don't even think Photoshop has that yet. Of course, I really don't know, because I haven't been back in Photoshop after I tried it for the first time, and it was so terrible. Oh my gosh, it was terrible. And it does have really a lot of good features, and I think if this program had come out like 5 years ago, and it was in that kind of that sweet spot whenever Procreate came out, and they were first introducing drawing programs and on the iPad, and I think if this had come out 5 years ago, it'd really be a great program. But I think right now it's just not ready. So this particular video is obviously not my favorite, because coming in here and experiencing some of the really not really nice things about this program is very frustrating, to say the least. And on top of that, being under the weather and being sick is something that I never ever want to experience. But life happens, life goes on, and that's one of the things that unfortunately happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys on a final time lapse. I know this drawing has gone on way too long, especially for the non-complexity that it is. But I think that what I wanted to get across to you guys is, even though Procreate's a great program, I always encourage you guys to look around, experience different programs, whether it's in the Mac environment, in the PC environment, in the iPad OS environment, or Android. I actually looked at an Android tablet recently to see if I couldn't purchase an Android tablet, and unfortunately it just wasn't in the money equation for me. Christmas being what it is, coming up quickly, and it just didn't happen. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this thing on time lapse. I'm going to do some texturization and maybe put some stripes, maybe some little bumps or something like that, just to give texture. And I think that's going to be it for this particular piece. My next piece is going to be in Procreate. So please, if you got through this video, I hate apologizing for videos, especially since I have the power to post them and not to post them. Obviously, I just wanted to show you guys, this is what happens, whenever new programs come out, and you have somebody like myself who has had a lot of experience with different programs, and being an artist that uses these tools on a daily basis. The frustration that's involved with using products like this that really just don't do what they're supposed to do. And it is so frustrating. And you saw that. I mean, you saw my anger in some parts of the video, and I was just like, gosh, I just want it to work. Why can't it just work? Adobe, take note, man. Just don't release the product until it's baked, because you're going to frustrate and alienate a lot of the core users like myself that use your products on a daily basis. And plus, if you have some guy or gal that wants to get into art and they download your program and they pay that monthly fee and it doesn't work as advertised, then suddenly it's like, well, maybe it's my fault, maybe I'm doing something wrong. And that's not the case. the program's just not ready. So maybe another 4 months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever they do, they change some of the mapping, they change the pressure curves, they change some of that. Maybe eventually it'll be good. But right now, if you look, it keeps undoing what I'm doing every single time. I'll put my hand down and then I put my finger down, and it'll undo what I did. And that might be my fault. I really don't know. But that just really stinks that it does that. So anyway, thank you guys, and enjoy the time lapse.